Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Leap podcast, your English podcast for real conversation practice and easy English in daily life.
Yes, the place where even our most embarrassing habits become great English practice.
I'm Anna.
And I'm Jake. Great to have you with us today.
So, Jake, be honest. What's one bad habit you have?
Oh, easy one. I check my phone way too much, especially right before bed, even though I know it's terrible for my sleep.
So relatable. Mine is definitely procrastinating. I always leave things until the very last minute.
Honestly, same. Perfect topic for today then, because we're talking about bad habits in English.
Yes, this is such a fun, relatable topic, and honestly, a really useful one because talking about habits, especially bad ones, comes up naturally in so many conversations.
True. With friends, in casual small talk, even in job interviews sometimes. What's a weakness of yours is basically asking about a bad habit in disguise.
So true. Today we'll cover vocabulary for common bad habits, useful grammar for talking about routines and habits, and phrases for talking about trying to change or quit something.
This topic is also a fantastic, natural way to practice some really useful grammar structures like used to, tend to, and keep doing something, all wrapped up in a fun, relatable conversation.
Exactly. Quick favor before we start. If you're enjoying this podcast, please like this episode, subscribe, and share it with a friend learning English.
And comment below. Tell us one of your bad habits. Honestly, we won't judge. Great practice, and we genuinely love reading your comments.
All right, let's get into it.
Okay, let's start with why this topic works so well for English practice specifically.
Great question. First, it's universally relatable. Literally everyone has bad habits, so it's an easy, natural topic to talk about with anyone, anywhere.
True, and it's a great topic for humor and honesty, which makes conversations feel warmer and more genuine rather than overly formal or stiff.
Third, and this is really important for us here at English Leap, it's a fantastic vehicle for practicing specific grammar naturally, habitual actions, past habits, and talking about change over time.
Exactly. Structures like I tend to, I used to, I'm trying to stop, all come up constantly in this topic, and they're genuinely useful in tons of other conversations too.
Great point. And fourth, this topic gives you a great chance to practice being playfully self-critical, which is actually a very common likable trait in English-speaking cultures, showing you don't take yourself too seriously.
True. Self-deprecating humor in moderation is often seen as charming rather than negative, especially in casual English conversation.
Beautifully summarized. Let's build our core structure now.
Okay, let's build a simple structure for describing a bad habit naturally.
Step 1. Name the habit clearly. I bite my nails. I procrastinate a lot. I check my phone constantly.
Step 2. Add a detail about frequency or context. I check my phone constantly, especially right before bed. I procrastinate a lot, particularly with boring tasks.
Step 3. Optional, a light, honest reaction or self-aware comment. I know it's not great for my sleep. It's honestly not my proudest habit.
Let's build a full example. I have this terrible habit of checking my phone constantly, especially right before bed. I know it's not great for my sleep, but I still do it anyway.
Perfect. Honest, relatable, and just a little funny. Exactly the tone we want for this topic.
Let's build another one. I tend to procrastinate a lot, especially with boring tasks. I always tell myself I'll start early, but somehow it never happens.
Great example, too. And notice, both examples used a nice, self-aware, slightly humorous tone without sounding overly critical of yourself.
Exactly. That balance really matters here. Now let's build your vocabulary toolbox for common bad habits.
Let's go through common bad habits organized by category so you always have something ready to say.
Daily habits. I procrastinate. I oversleep. I check my phone too much. I skip breakfast. I stay up too late.
Eating and drinking habits. I snack too much. I drink too much coffee. I eat too fast. I skip meals when I'm busy.
Speech and social habits. I interrupt people sometimes. I talk too fast when I'm nervous. I'm terrible at replying to messages. I overthink conversations afterward.
Work and productivity habits. I multitask too much. I leave things until the last minute. I take on too many things at once. I struggle to say no to extra work.
Physical habits. I crack my knuckles. I bite my nails. I slouch a lot. I bounce my leg when I'm anxious.
Spending and lifestyle habits. I impulse shop sometimes. I order takeout too often. I spend too much time scrolling on social media.
Great range of vocabulary, listeners. Notice all of these are described with simple present tense since we're talking about repeated habitual actions.
Great point. And that leads us perfectly into our grammar section.
Okay, let's spend some time on grammar here because this topic is genuinely one of the best ways to practice habit-related structures in English.
Great idea. Let's start with simple present tense, our default for regular habits. I check my phone too much. I procrastinate a lot. Simple, clear, familiar.
Next, tend to, a slightly softer, more natural way to describe a habit, very common in spoken English. I tend to leave things until the last minute. I tend to overthink small decisions.
Next, have a habit of, plus the ing form. I have a habit of checking my phone right before bed. She has a habit of interrupting people.
Next, keep plus ing. Great for describing a repeated, sometimes frustrating pattern. I keep forgetting to drink enough water. I keep hitting snooze every morning.
Great structure, and it naturally shows a slightly self-critical or frustrated tone, which fits perfectly with this topic.
Now let's talk about past habits using used to. This describes something you did regularly in the past but don't do anymore. I used to bite my nails a lot as a kid. I used to stay up really late every night.
Great structure. And for habits that have changed but aren't completely gone, we can use I don't as much as I used to. I don't procrastinate as much as I used to, but I still do it sometimes.
Beautiful, nuanced structure, showing real progress without claiming perfection.
Let's also mention would, another way to describe repeated past actions, often used in storytelling. When I was younger, I would stay up all night reading. Very similar meaning to used to, but slightly more narrative in tone.
Great grammar toolkit, listeners. Between simple present, tend to, have a habit of, keep doing, and used to, you now have a really rich set of tools for describing habits at any point in time.
Okay, now let's talk about the other side of this topic, trying to change or quit a bad habit, since this comes up constantly too.
Great addition. Let's start with useful phrases for expressing intention to change. I'm trying to cut back on coffee. I'm trying to stop biting my nails. I'm working on procrastinating less.
Great phrases. Notice cut back on, meaning to reduce something gradually, a really useful phrasal verb for this topic specifically.
Let's also cover phrases for describing your progress. I've actually gotten a lot better about it. I still struggle with it sometimes, but I'm improving. I've cut down significantly, but I haven't completely quit.
Great range, from full success to partial progress, all completely natural and honest ways to describe change.
Let's also cover phrases for describing setbacks, since real change rarely happens perfectly. I slipped up again last week. I fell back into old habits during a stressful week. It's a work in progress, honestly.
Great honest phrases, and work in progress especially, a lovely, gentle way to describe imperfect, ongoing change.
Beautifully summarized. Let's build a full example combining several of these. I've been trying to cut back on my phone use before bed. I've actually gotten a lot better about it, though I did slip up a bit last week during a stressful few days. Overall, it's definitely a work in progress.
Beautiful, complete, honest, balanced example, and showing real emotional maturity around imperfect progress.
Beautifully summarized. Let's now talk about triggers, the reasons behind our bad habits, since this often comes up in deeper conversations.
Okay, so sometimes conversations go a little deeper. Why do you think you do that? Let's prepare you for that too.
Great addition. Useful phrases. I think it's a stress response, honestly. It's usually worse when I'm tired. I tend to do it more when I'm anxious. It's become a bit of a comfort thing, I guess.
Great, honest, self-aware phrases. Let's build an example. Honestly, I think I snack more when I'm stressed. It's become a bit of a comfort thing over the years.
Great example. And notice sharing a trigger like this adds real depth and honesty to the conversation without needing to over-explain or feel embarrassed.
Beautifully covered. Let's also mention phrases when you're genuinely not sure why you do something. Honestly, I'm not totally sure why I do it. I've never really thought about the reason behind it. It's just become automatic at this point.
Great honest options too, listeners. Not every habit needs a deep psychological explanation, and it's completely fine to simply not know.
Beautifully covered. Now let's talk about a few common mistakes learners make with this topic.
Mistake 1. Using present continuous instead of present simple for regular habits, saying I am procrastinating a lot instead of I procrastinate a lot. Remember, habits use present simple, not continuous.
True. Present continuous would only work for something happening right now, like I'm procrastinating right now instead of doing my homework.
Very meta example. Mistake 2. Forgetting to after used, saying I used to bite my nails instead of I used to bite my nails. Small word, big grammar difference.
Mistake 3, confusing used to with be used to, which actually means something different, being accustomed to something. I used to live in Paris means a past habit or state. I'm used to living in a big city means you're accustomed to it now.
Great important distinction, listeners. This trips up a lot of learners.
Mistake 4, being overly self-critical or dramatic when describing a habit, which can actually make the conversation feel heavier than intended. I'm honestly the worst person in the world for procrastinating. Sounds a bit much for casual conversation. A lighter tone, I'm pretty bad at avoiding procrastination, feels more natural.
Great point. Tone really matters here, keeping things light and self-aware rather than harshly self-critical.
Mistake 5, forgetting ing forms after certain structures like keep or have a habit of, saying I keep forget instead of I keep forgetting.
Beautifully covered, listeners. Small grammar fixes, big improvement in how natural your English sounds.
Quick cultural note before our example conversations. The way people openly discuss personal habits does shift a bit across English-speaking cultures.
True, in the United States, casual, self-deprecating humor about habits like procrastination or bad sleep schedules is extremely common and often used to build connection and relatability.
In the UK, similar self-deprecating humor is common too, often paired with a dry, understated wit. Oh, I'm shockingly bad at replying to texts. Absolutely hopeless.
Classic British understatement. In Australia, this kind of honest, humorous self-talk about habits is very common too, often blended with casual slang and a relaxed, unbothered tone.
And in many parts of India and South Asia, personal habits, especially ones tied to health or discipline, might come up more often within close family or friend circles, sometimes with a mix of humor and gentle encouragement to improve.
Great context, listeners, showing that while the topic itself is universal, the exact tone and openness can shift depending on culture and relationship closeness.
Beautifully summarized. Now let's cover some fun idioms related to habits before moving to our example conversations.
Let's cover some idioms that come up naturally around habits and behavior change.
First, creature of habit, meaning someone who really likes routine and doesn't like change. I'm such a creature of habit. I order the same coffee every single day.
Second, fall back into old habits, meaning to return to a previous, usually negative pattern after trying to change. I fell back into old habits during exam season.
Third, kick a habit, meaning to successfully stop doing something, usually something unhealthy. I finally kicked my habit of skipping breakfast.
Fourth, cold turkey, meaning to stop something suddenly and completely rather than gradually. I quit caffeine cold turkey last month.
Fifth, creature comforts, meaning small, familiar things that make you feel comfortable, often connected to comfort-based habits. Snacking has become one of my creature comforts.
Sixth, second nature, meaning something that's become so automatic it feels completely natural. Checking my phone has honestly become second nature at this point.
Let's build an example combining a few. I'm such a creature of habit, honestly. I tried quitting sugar cold turkey once, but I fell back into old habits within a week. Snacking has just become second nature for me.
Perfect natural example, listeners. These idioms add real warmth and fluency to habit-related conversations.
Okay, first one, two friends chatting casually about their habits.
I have to admit something embarrassing. I check my phone probably 100 times a day.
Honestly, same. I have a habit of scrolling social media right before bed, even though it wrecks my sleep.
Oh, I do that too. I keep telling myself I'll stop, but it never really happens.
Same here. It's honestly become second nature at this point.
Maybe we should hold each other accountable, like a no phone before bed challenge.
That actually sounds like a great idea. Let's try it this week.
Great, warm, relatable conversation, listeners, showing how this topic naturally builds connection between friends.
Now let's do a second one, a slightly more serious conversation about trying to change a habit.
How's the no sugar thing going?
Honestly, it's a work in progress. I've cut back a lot, but I did slip up a bit last week during a stressful few days.
That's totally understandable. Stress makes everything harder. What triggers it the most for you?
I think it's mostly a comfort thing when I'm overwhelmed, but overall, I've gotten a lot better about it compared to a few months ago.
That's honestly great progress. Don't be too hard on yourself about the slip-up.
Thanks, that means a lot.
Beautiful, supportive example, listeners, showing real emotional depth around imperfect progress. Exactly the tone we want for these deeper conversations.
Let's do one more, a lighter, funnier one between coworkers on a coffee break.
I swear I've had 4 cups of coffee already today.
I definitely can't judge. I'm basically fueled entirely by caffeine at this point.
Same, honestly. I used to drink way less, but this job has turned me into a full-blown coffee addict.
Honestly, relatable. At least it's a socially acceptable bad habit, right?
True, could be worse.
See, listeners, this last one keeps things light and playful, showing how bad habits can be a fun, bonding topic in casual, everyday moments, too.
Quick FAQ before practice time. From a listener named Beatrice. Is it okay to talk about bad habits in a job interview, or is that too negative?
Great question, Beatrice. It's actually really common, especially for what's your weakness questions. The key is framing it honestly, but also mentioning how you're working on it. I tend to take on too many tasks at once, but I've been working on prioritizing better.
Great tip, Beatrice. That combination of honesty plus growth mindset lands really well in professional settings.
Next, from a listener named Dawit, what if my bad habit is something more serious, like smoking? Is the tone still the same?
Good, thoughtful question, Dawit. For more serious habits, the tone often shifts a bit. Less playful, more genuinely reflective. Phrases like, I'm really trying to quit, it's honestly been a difficult journey, work well, keeping honesty and seriousness appropriate to the topic.
Great distinction, listeners. Match your tone to the actual weight of the habit you're discussing.
Next, from a listener named Priya, how do I gently point out someone else's bad habit without sounding rude?
Great question, Priya. This actually connects nicely to our disagreement episode. Try something gentle and caring. Hey, I've noticed you seem pretty stressed when you skip lunch. Have you thought about changing that? Framing it with care, not judgment, works best.
Beautiful connection there. Last question from a listener named Marco. Is it weird to talk about trying to build good habits instead in the same conversation?
Not at all weird, Marco. Actually, really natural. I'm trying to swap my bad habit of snacking late at night with a better one, like drinking tea instead. Talking about replacement habits is a great, positive way to extend this topic.
Great questions today, everyone. Thanks for sending them in.
Quick shadowing exercise before practice time. We say a sentence, you repeat it out loud.
Sentence 1. I have a terrible habit of checking my phone too much. Now you.
Sentence 2. I tend to procrastinate, especially with boring tasks. Now you.
Sentence 3. I used to stay up really late every night. Now you.
Sentence 4. I'm trying to cut back on coffee. Now you.
Sentence 5. It's honestly a work in progress. Now you.
Sentence 6. I fell back into old habits last week. Now you.
Great job, everyone. Let's also review our full glossary quickly. Naming a habit. I have a habit of. I tend to. I keep doing. I have a terrible habit of.
Past habits. I used to. When I was younger, I would. I don't as much as I used to.
Trying to change. I'm trying to cut back on. I'm working on. I've gotten a lot better about it.
Setbacks. I slipped up again. I fell back into old habits. It's a work in progress.
Triggers. It's usually worse when it's become a bit of a comfort thing. I'm not totally sure why I do it.
Idioms. Creature of habit, fall back into old habits, kick a habit, cold turkey, second nature.
What a complete toolkit, listeners. Review this glossary whenever you want a quick refresher before a real conversation about habits.
Let's give you a quick sample bank. 15 different people, 15 different habits, all using the exact same tools from today's episode.
Great idea. Number 1. I have a terrible habit of hitting snooze at least 5 times every morning. I really should just set my alarm later instead.
Number 2. I tend to leave my laundry until I have absolutely nothing clean left to wear. It's honestly ridiculous at this point.
Number 3. I keep buying books I never actually read. My shelf is basically a graveyard of good intentions.
Number 4. I used to bite my nails constantly as a teenager, but I finally kicked that habit a few years ago.
Number 5. I have a habit of saying yes to everything, even when I'm already overwhelmed. I'm working on setting better boundaries.
Number 6. I tend to interrupt people when I'm excited about a topic. It's something I'm actively trying to be more mindful of.
Number 7. I'm honestly addicted to my phone. I check it constantly, even when I know there's nothing new to see.
Number 8. I have a habit of procrastinating on emails specifically. Everything else I handle fine, but emails just pile up.
Number 9. I used to smoke for almost 10 years, but I quit cold turkey about 2 years ago, and honestly, it's one of my proudest achievements.
Number 10. I tend to overthink conversations after they happen, replaying them in my head way more than necessary.
Number 11. I keep forgetting to drink enough water during the day. I only remember around dinner time.
Number 12. I have a bit of an online shopping habit, especially late at night when I'm bored. My bank account definitely notices.
Number 13. I tend to be pretty messy. I always tell myself I'll organize things tomorrow, and tomorrow never really comes.
Number 14. I used to skip breakfast all the time, but I've gotten a lot better about it since I started prioritizing my mornings more.
Number 15. Honestly, my biggest bad habit is comparing myself to others on social media. I'm actively trying to cut back on my screen time because of it.
What a great, honest range, listeners. 15 completely different habits, but every single one used the exact same simple, relatable structure and vocabulary from today's episode.
Exactly. And that's really the secret, listeners. Once you know the formula, you can describe absolutely any habit, big or small, funny or serious, using these same natural tools.
Let's spend a little time on the more positive side of this topic, talking about building better habits, since this often comes up naturally right after discussing a bad one.
Great addition. Useful phrases. I'm trying to replace that habit with something healthier. Instead of snacking, I've started drinking tea when I feel stressed. I've swapped my phone time for reading before bed.
Great structure there. Instead of and swapped for. Both really useful for describing replacement habits specifically.
Let's also cover phrases for describing new positive habits you're building. I've started going for a walk every morning. I've picked up a new habit of journaling before bed. I've been trying to build a habit of drinking more water.
Great phrases. Picked up a habit, a lovely natural alternative to started, specifically for describing new habits.
Let's build a full example, combining a bad habit and a replacement. I used to scroll social media constantly before bed, but I've been trying to swap that for reading instead. It's honestly made a huge difference in how I sleep.
Beautiful, complete example showing the full arc. Old habit, new replacement, and a positive result, all in a few natural sentences.
Great connection, listeners, showing that this topic isn't just about admitting flaws. It's also a great opportunity to talk about genuine positive growth.
Let's do one more role play, a warm, slightly more personal one between a parent and their adult child, discussing habits during a phone call.
So, are you still staying up so late every night? I worry about you.
Honestly, I have gotten a lot better about it. I used to stay up until 2 or 3 in the morning, but I've been trying to wind down earlier now.
That's really good to hear. What made you decide to change?
I think I just noticed how tired I felt all the time. It wasn't sustainable anymore. I still slip up occasionally, but overall, it's a work in progress.
Well, I'm proud of you for working on it. Just remember, small steps count too.
Thanks, Mom. That really means a lot.
See, listeners, notice how naturally this conversation blended care, honesty, and gentle encouragement, exactly the tone that works so well for personal, family-based habit conversations.
Beautifully demonstrated. And honestly, this kind of warm, supportive tone works wonderfully for many close relationships, not just family.
Quick bonus vocabulary section. A few more useful phrasal verbs specifically about breaking or managing habits.
Great idea. First, cut down on. Very similar to cut back on, meaning to reduce something. I'm trying to cut down on sugar.
Second, give up, meaning to stop doing something completely. I gave up caffeine for a month, and honestly, it was rough.
Third, get into, meaning to start doing something regularly, often positively. I recently got into journaling, and it's honestly been really helpful.
Fourth, hold yourself back, meaning to restrain yourself from doing something. I really had to hold myself back from checking my phone during the meeting.
Fifth, ease off, meaning to gradually reduce something, similar to cutting back, but often used for intensity rather than frequency. I've been trying to ease off the caffeine in the afternoons.
Sixth, break the cycle, meaning to stop a repeating negative pattern. I really want to break the cycle of procrastinating until the last minute.
Let's build an example combining a few. I've really been trying to break the cycle of late-night snacking. I've cut down a lot, and I've gotten into drinking herbal tea instead, which has honestly helped a ton.
Perfect natural example, listeners. These phrasal verbs add real depth and fluency to any conversation about changing habits.
Let's cover one more useful angle, talking about other people's habits, whether it's a friend, family member, or even a public figure, in a kind, respectful way.
Great addition, because this comes up a lot and it's important to handle with care, connecting nicely to our earlier episode on disagreeing politely.
Useful phrases. She has a habit of running late, but she's always worth the wait.
He tends to overwork himself. I think it's just how he copes with stress.
They've mentioned they're trying to cut back on screen time.
Great examples. Notice all of these stay warm and non-judgmental, focusing on understanding rather than criticism.
Let's also cover phrases for gently expressing concern about someone else's habit. I've noticed you seem pretty tired lately. Is everything okay?
I don't want to overstep, but I've noticed you've been skipping meals a lot.
Great, caring phrases, softly opening the door for a supportive conversation rather than sounding critical or judgmental. And let's cover phrases for describing a habit you admire in someone else too, since this topic isn't only about negative habits.
I really admire how consistent she is with her morning routine.
He's incredibly disciplined about going to bed early.
Beautiful balance, listeners, showing that this topic can highlight both understanding towards flaws and genuine admiration towards positive habits in others.
Let's cover one more practical section, phrases for accountability, since many people talk about habits specifically in the context of tracking progress or supporting each other.
Great addition. Useful phrases. Can you help hold me accountable? I've been tracking my progress in a journal. We've been checking in with each other weekly about it.
Great phrases, especially useful for friends or partners supporting each other through a habit change.
Let's also cover phrases for celebrating progress. I've officially hit a 2-week streak. I'm really proud of how consistent I've been. Small wins, but they add up.
Lovely, encouraging phrases, and small wins, but they add up, especially. A really healthy, realistic mindset for habit change.
Let's build a full example combining several. I've been tracking my water intake in an app, and honestly, I just hit a 2-week streak. My roommate has been helping hold me accountable too. It's made a huge difference.
Beautiful, complete, motivating example, listeners, showing how habit change often becomes a shared, supportive journey, not just a solo effort.
Let's squeeze in a few more listener questions before practice time, since we received so many great ones.
From a listener named Cheaty, is it okay to joke about a friend's bad habit, or could that come across as mean?
Great question, Cheaty. Light, affectionate teasing is often totally fine between close friends, especially if they joke about it themselves too. But it's always worth reading the room. If someone seems sensitive about it, it's kinder to switch to a more supportive tone instead.
Great advice. From a listener named Renata, what if I have a habit I'm not ready to change yet? Is it okay to just admit that honestly?
Absolutely, Renata. Honesty here is always respected. You could say, honestly, I know it's not great for me, but I'm not quite ready to change it yet, and that's okay for now. Completely valid, mature, and honest.
Beautiful, honest phrasing. Great questions today, everyone. Thanks so much for sending them in.
Let's do one final role play, a slightly more professional one, giving a colleague gentle, caring feedback about a work-related habit.
Hey, do you have a minute? I wanted to mention something, just as a friendly heads up.
Sure, what's up?
I've noticed you tend to join meetings a few minutes late sometimes. I don't think anyone's upset, but I just wanted to flag it in case it's something you'd want to be more mindful of.
Oh, thanks for telling me, honestly. I think it's become a bit of a habit with back-to-back calls. I'll try to build in more buffer time.
That makes total sense, and honestly, I do the same thing sometimes. I just wanted to mention it kindly.
I really appreciate that. Thanks for bringing it up directly instead of letting it slide.
See, listeners, notice how gentle, respectful, and solution-focused this feedback conversation felt. No blame, no harsh criticism, just an honest, caring observation and a clear path forward.
Beautifully demonstrated. And honestly, this kind of warm, respectful feedback conversation is incredibly valuable in any workplace or team setting.
Let's round things out with vocabulary for good habits too, since these often come up in the same breath as bad ones, especially when talking about balance or self-improvement.
Great idea. I have a habit of drinking a big glass of water first thing in the morning. I always make my bed. It just sets a nice tone for the day. I try to read at least a few pages every night before sleeping.
I make it a point to exercise a few times a week. I usually plan my meals ahead of time. It saves me so much stress. I've gotten into the habit of writing a short to-do list every morning.
Great vocabulary, listeners. And notice, make it a point to. A lovely, slightly more intentional way to describe a positive habit you actively prioritize.
Let's build a full, balanced example, mixing both good and bad habits, since real life usually includes a mix of both. I have a pretty solid morning routine. I always make my bed and drink water first thing. That said, I definitely still struggle with checking my phone too much in the evenings. It's honestly the opposite end of my routine.
Perfect, honest, balanced example, listeners, showing that nobody's routine is perfectly good or perfectly bad, and that's completely normal.
Okay, listeners, let's practice. Speak your answers out loud, not just in your head.
First, describe one of your bad habits using our 3-part structure. Name it, add a detail, add a light reaction.
Second, describe a habit you used to have but don't anymore, using used to.
Third, talk about a habit you're currently trying to change using trying to, cut back on, or work in progress.
Fourth, describe a trigger for one of your habits, honestly and casually.
Fifth, try using one idiom from today's episode in a natural sentence out loud.
Great job, everyone. Comment below with one bad habit you're going to try describing in English this week.
Quick recap. First, we learned the three-part structure for describing a bad habit. Name it, add a detail, add a light reaction.
Second, we built vocabulary across categories: daily, eating, social, work, physical, and lifestyle habits.
Third, we practiced key grammar structures: present simple, tend to, have a habit of, keep doing, and use to.
Fourth, we learned how to talk about trying to change or quit a habit, including progress and setbacks.
Fifth, we explored talking about triggers and reasons behind our habits.
Sixth, we avoided common mistakes like tense confusion and mixing up used to with be used to.
Seventh, we explored cultural notes and useful idioms like creature of habit and cold turkey.
And finally, we practiced 3 full example conversations: friends, a deeper personal chat, and a light coworker moment.
That's everything you need to talk about bad habits honestly, naturally, and with a good sense of humor in any English-speaking conversation.
All right, that's it for today's episode. Next time someone asks about your habits, try using one of today's phrases, even just one.
If this episode helped you, please like it, subscribe to the podcast, and share it with someone learning English.
And comment below. Tell us honestly, what's one bad habit you're working on right now?
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. Keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone. And remember, we all have bad habits. The goal isn't perfection, it's honest, gradual progress. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.